The video game industry is full of games that never made it to launch. Some of those games were highly anticipated. For example, games like Star Wars 1313 or Starcraft Go or Star Fox 2 way back in the day. If you've been able to chat with a game developer about the process of game development and how chaotic it can be, you would start to have an idea about why so many games don't ship. Game development is a combination of art, creativity, and science, and it's usually built collaboratively with one or several people's vision for an ideal outcome at its core, which is like a recipe for disaster. You can have a budget, you can have a great and talented team, you could have an interesting idea, and still the game might not end up being a good enough product to make. Maybe it's super polished, but it's just not fun. Point is that there can be so many things that can go wrong when it comes to game development. One highly anticipated game in the blockchain space was Deaddrop, first-person extraction shooter made by Midnight Society, a game development company that was created in part by Dr. Disrespect, with the sole purpose of creating a shooter with high risk and high reward. Welcome back to another episode of What's New Weekly, your weekly dive into blockchain gaming and crypto. I'm your host, Jay Cluster. Today, we're going to be looking into and saying goodbye to a game that just didn't quite make it. If you're enjoying these episodes, hit those like, comment, share buttons, and let's jump in. Last week, Midnight Society announced that they were closing their doors and that their game Deaddrop would no longer be in development. Here's their post about it. They said, "Today we are announcing Midnight Society will be closing its doors after 3 incredible years with an amazing team of over 55 developers contributing to our new IP, Deaddrop. We are actively seeking other game studios that would be interested in offering employment opportunities to our talented team members. If you know anyone who's hiring, please forward this message to them or DM us with direct intros. We express our sincere gratitude to each and every one of our community members and deeply sorry we were unable to reach our ultimate goal." So, you got a lot of comments here. Stash giving them the salute. Yellow Panther, GG's. Some initial reactions there. But why and how did this happen? I mean, I myself was fairly bullish on the idea behind the game when it was first announced. The Web3 community had high hopes that this popular content creator, Dr. Disrespect, would bring blockchain gaming into a better light. And in some ways, it did help. So what happened? It all started to fall apart when Dr. Disrespect was accused of soliciting a minor via Twitch DMs, which is a whole issue in and of itself. We don't need to talk about that. But let's watch this video that Gaspod made.
Good morning, gamers. We've just seen that Midnight Society has removed Dr. Disrespect from the studio. I'm keen to see how this will affect the game Deadrop, as I see him being one of their unique selling points who got a lot of eyes onto the project. They had some big tournaments at the end of last year, filling out a whole stadium, but most of those came because of Dr. Disrespect himself rather than the game. He did bring a lot of people into the space because they minted their NFT just because of him. It's interesting to see how many of those have then gone out into the wider ecosystem, but I think for this game itself, they're going to be in for a rocky ride now that he has been removed. Now go out there.
So in a way, I guess you could say the writing was on the wall, right? You have creators like this saying like, well, the whole thing that made Deaddrop special, mainly at least, was the fact that Dr. Disrespect was a part of the team and it was going to be his game and people wanted to play his game. And because of that, a lot of people who weren't into crypto bought NFTs just to be able to play the game with him and stuff like that. So the moment that Dr. Disrespect was kicked out of the company, Midnight Society, was probably the final nail in the coffin, so to speak. But after 3 years of development, the game is shutting down. You can also see this post by Dexerto. Midnight Society, the game studio Dr. Disrespect co-founded, has shut down. Their game Deaddrop was in development for 3 years and was never released. Midnight Society cut ties with Dr. Disrespect. You can see this article here. His game studio has closed its doors back in 2024. Society cut ties with Dr. Disrespect after YouTube streamer admitted inappropriately messaging a minor on Twitch. Just a few months later, the studio cut cut down its size with its dev team while leaving many of its fans and active players wondering about the future of its game. On Thursday, January 30th, fans got their long-awaited answer about the future of Deaddrop, revealed that it's closing entirely. So yeah, it sucks. Former Midnight Society level designer Brad Boyce took to LinkedIn to share the news as well, revealing the studio is out of funding and everybody needs to pack up and go home. The team of Midnight Society got our 2-day notice yesterday that the studio is out of funding and everybody needs to pack up and go home. Everyone I worked with at Midnight Society is absolutely amazing at what they do and is now jobless. I thought we had much more runway with funding. That's unfortunate. So they weren't being honest about how much funding they had either. You know, you have people who bought the Founders Pass wondering, what does that mean about us who spent thousands, hundreds of dollars on these NFTs? Dr. Disrespect reacted to the news on stream as well, confirming the studio's closure after revealing YouTube had decided to remonetize it. So I guess this kind of happened live for him, experienced the fact that Midnight Society is closing its doors and the fact that he's being remonetized the same day. Kind of confusing, but interesting nonetheless. In this Dexerto post, you can see some pretty ruthless comments, but you know, sometimes the truth stings. The game still has gray box maps after 3 years, says Inhuman. Gotta agree with that. Like, it wasn't really progressing very quickly, that's for sure. Absolutely tragic. You have people that say, what an L, it's obvious now that he was bankrolling the whole thing. Cutting him was essentially cutting their own throats. A lot of people seem disappointed. A lot of people are not surprised. 3 years is barely enough time to lay the groundwork, much less being a AAA blockbuster. Wake up. The doc was the game, and when his name was wrongfully dragged through the mud, the game was done there. So, okay, that's it. Overall, I think that the damage done to the blockchain space because of this whole fiasco was actually really done back in June when Dr. Disrespect was removed from Midnight Society for those solicitation allegations, but it's still always unfortunate to see another game that's not gonna make it. It's tough, especially in the blockchain space. But it's important to remember that games are hard to make and they fail more often than they succeed. So it shouldn't come as too big of a surprise, and there's no real point in blaming any one person regarding its downfall or the fact that, like, say there's a content creator who supported the game and now the game's dead. It's not like that content creator is a bad person. They just were excited about the game, and games fail all the time. So it is what it is. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments about Midnight Society closing down. Did you play Deadrop? Was it all right for you? It was a bit janky, but it was all right. There was fun times in Deadrop, like playing those lobbies and everyone started to like communicate with each other, and it was just like a fun time to meet people and things like that. It's all gone now. Oh well, moving on. The general gist, from what I can tell, is that the people who were underage and were basically trying to get him to hit on them were actually not underage, and they were ex-Twitch employees who didn't like Dr. Disrespect and tried to entrap him. But I don't know what's going on with that. Be sure to throw down a like, a follow, subscribe, leave a comment, and don't forget to share this to somebody else you think might find it interesting, and I will see you guys later. Peace. I just want to take a quick segue and talk about our sponsor. It's me, because somebody has to. Along with all the other things that I do, I have resurrected my online store, blockchainon.me. You can find all sorts of crypto-themed art and memes on high-quality items that are perfect for starting conversations at your day job or maybe at that next event that you guys are going to be going to. Web3 apparel that starts conversations. Blockchain on Me is full of apparel designed to capture the current vibe of Web3. We have the cryptocurrencies collection. Here is the Bitcoin Nomad bag. Super awesome. I have one of these. I use it every time I go traveling somewhere. Bring it to all my events. Super awesome. I love all the cryptocurrency collection and how it turned out. Collaborated with an artist to make this all happen. Pepe collection. Everybody needs a little bit of a Pepe in their life. Got the Be Nice Man slogan there on some different types of shirts for men, women, and some bottles and cups. Got some stickers. We also have the GM Cult collection, just a few items right now. We might add some more back, but you know, you got GM Inception, GM inside of the GM. Everyone loves the GM coffee. If you're a daily Twitter poster like I am, part of the GM cult, then maybe you want to check this out. Of course, we have to have the HODL collection, nice and simple. So all these items have free shipping worldwide for purchase over $120. And if you guys are looking for a discount, I'll leave a 15% discount code in the comments down below.